Why did the Tijuana sewage issue take so long to solve? And what step can the president and U.S. Senate take to make sure it is lasting? Well, first, the issue isn't solved yet, but we're finally seeing progress. Starting in 2017, after a massive sewage spill from Tijuana, regional leaders came together to demand action. But Congress couldn't fund a project that didn't yet exist, so the EPA first had to identify solutions and costs. Once that was done, funding still needed a vehicle. In early 2020, the USMCA trade agreement appropriated $300 million. Then, multiple environmental studies were required to measure the project's impact on the environment. In 2022, Mexico finally committed $150 million to rebuild its failing treatment plant, which finally reopened in spring of this year. And on the U.S. side, a lengthy bidding process concluded in 2024, which allowed shovels in the ground today. Most recently, earlier this year, the U.S. and Mexico signed a landmark agreement to permanently end the crisis. The agreement funds projects on both sides of the border and is expected to reduce beach closures by 95%, primarily by expanding the international treatment plant's capacity, upgrading Tijuana's pump stations to transport sewage to the treatment plants, and installing trash booms to keep garbage out of the ocean. I'm Richard Bailey, former mayor of Coronado, and here's why you should care. This progress is long overdue, but construction is finally happening, and the water quality data is already showing a reduction in contamination from some of the early infrastructure upgrades. However, without meaningful binational accountability, even if all of the planned infrastructure is completed, it's only a matter of time before it fails again. The treaty that established the current arrangement was signed all the way back in 1944 and lacks any standards or enforcement options. It simply wasn't written to deal with the types of issues we're seeing now. The president and the Senate should amend the existing treaty to include funding, maintenance, and performance requirements of both nations. The progress we are seeing today should be applauded, and a treaty amendment should be pursued to make sure that it is sustained. For more policy-centered conversations, follow along.